Whoa! Good morning, everybody. It's me, Mitch. How you doing? Good to see you. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch. Drink it as. Yes, I'm still a little out of it. Drink it if you got it. And I see that I am live. I switched over to another screen to look at the feed rather than fool with my cell phone doing it. And now I'm back looking at myself. I, how's everybody this morning? Good to see you. Glad you're here. It's a gorgeous, absolutely Chamber of Commerce morning here in Melbourne. I got up this morning. It was 68 degrees outside. Starting to warm up now. The sun is up. Can't beat it. Can't beat it. And looking forward to today when we're having our meetup. We're having our meetup here at 11:30 at the Estampa Gaucha Brazilian Steakhouse in the Melbourne Square Mall. Looking forward to Kiltsy and Nelson Vasquez and some of their followers, and many of the people in our community are coming that I'm going to get to meet for the first time. So even though this kidney stone adventure has knocked the crap out of me, I'm going to dig down in the reserves of energy that I've saved up from being a carnivore for a couple of years, and I'm going to have a great time. And I can't wait for it to start. So one of the side effects, it seems, of the drugs I've been taking to stop this pain with the kidney stone happens to be it screws up your digestive system. So I went researching it. I'm trying to find out, well, how does it screw up your digestive system? And I got answers that didn't tell me anything. Because according to the literature, it can cause constipation, or it can cause diarrhea. Which is it? And I think they cover themselves with these side effects by just naming every side effect known to man. The drugs can also give you headaches. They're supposed to be pain relievers. Why would you take a pain reliever that gave you headaches? It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. But it has definitely done something. Now, it's also possible I haven't been eating a lot. It's only been 2 or 3 days since I went, and it may not be constipation at all. It may just be I haven't generated enough waste. I don't know. This is just a guessing game, and I'll talk a little more about it. But I want to bring Ellen in. I want to bring Ellen in and say good morning to you. How you doing?
Good morning, Mitch.
Yes,
and
it
good
is.
morning.
It
Good
is a
morning,
good
everyone
morning.
in chat. I'm sorry.
I said it is a good morning. Yes.
It is a great morning.
And I would ask you, since I've been having problems, people in the chat, since I've been having problems with my sound, I'm looking over
okay.
I'm looking over the last entries in the chat now, and I don't see anybody saying they can't hear me. So I guess I got it fixed. But a little feedback would help if there's anything you think is wrong with it. Other than that,
Yes,
I think
please let us
we're
know.
good. Yeah, I
Good
will.
morning, Tom. Tom says straight to the poop talk today.
Well, it's
a
I
carnivore.
figured that if I am a little constipated, that drinking out of my cup light would maybe help things a little bit. So, and
I would think it would.
coffee is, a mild laxative, which is
Mm-hmm.
and has always generally worked for me. So, but I'm not uncomfortable. I don't feel bloated or anything. So who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? And they don't tell you anything. They don't tell you anything. And pardon me, I made some notes here. And look out when I make notes. I get dangerous. Uh, I want to talk about that a little bit too, before and have a little bit of a monologue, let's say, before we actually get into the chat saying hi to people. So I'm going to put you, Ellen. I'm going
Okay.
to put you up there in the corner in your perch, and you can watch over me and the chat and everybody else, and that gives me great comfort. Great comfort. Okay, so mute your mic if you would, and I'll get into it. I'll get into it. All righty. So as usual this morning, I was up very early. I went to bed early last night. We ended our private community live stream a half hour earlier than we usually do, about 9:30, about 8:30, 7 to 8:30. And by 9:30 I was in bed, which is very unusual for me. I slept pretty good. I haven't, and this is kind of an update on the kidney stone adventure. I haven't taken a pain pill at all since yesterday afternoon at 3 o'clock. So it's absolutely the longest I've gone. I still feel kind of a little ache around the area of my right kidney, but not enough to warrant taking super killer, high side effect narcotics and pain medications. Uh, I understand that the further the stone gets away from your kidney, I mean, it's got a pretty nice little journey, maybe 10 inches or more of ureter to go through. The further away it gets, the more the pain subsides. I know I haven't passed the thing yet. I would have noticed the Rock of Gibraltar coming out if it happened. Um, so I know I'm still passing the stone, but the pain over the last day has subsided, and I think I'm making the progress, and I think, and I was talking to Ellen earlier that if I need to have a painkiller today, I may just give a Tylenol a shot because the side effects of just plain Tylenol are nowhere near what these super pills are. And I looked up the prescriptions they gave me and did a little research on them. They have me on something called ketorolac. Ketorolac starts with the words keto. It's Ketorolac. And it is billed as one of the strongest non-steroidals, NSAIDs, that is used primarily for acute pain, like, and they gave an example, like after surgery. So I said, well, okay, that's a potent painkiller. Then I looked up the side effects of it, and they're not pretty. They're not pretty. So it may be an NSAID, but it is certainly uglier than Tylenol. And then, of course, there was oxycodone, and we all know about that. That's a highly addictive narcotic, kills pain by working on the nervous system, and side effects are enormous in those things. And I hated to even take it, but they gave me a cocktail at first of both of them, which shows you how much pain they usually see with a kidney stone, and it worked, and it worked. But you pay a price for it. You pay a price for it. And the takeaway from this is kind of a lesson that nobody really hears or understands. And you can only really experience it if, like me and many of you, and in my case for the past 2 years and 3 months, I have not put a chemical of any kind in my body. Not a drug, not a prescription, not an aspirin, not a Tylenol, nothing. My physiology, my body chemistry, had a chance to actually finally revert to the way it's supposed to work and it's programmed to work. And it rewarded me with tremendous energy and just physical feeling of well-being all the time. I was I was never tired and had to lay down and take a nap. I always fell asleep well, always slept mostly through the night. Uh, Things just worked like they were supposed to. And this little adventure, and I am thankful that those drugs are there because I mean, if you ever heard the term suicide inducing pain, that is what you feel. And they say that it's comparable to pregnancy, but at least with pregnancy, you know when it's going to stop. you're going to have the kid and it's over. With a kidney stone, you don't know how many weeks or days it might take before this pain goes away. So it's a horrible thing. I only took in total, listen to this. This is what's incredible. I only took a total in the 3 or 4 days since I started this nightmare. Maybe either I took one oxycodone in the hospital and I've taken 2 of them, 3 of them rather, at home. I've taken 4 of these pills and I've taken 6 of the other ones because yesterday I gave up the oxy and just took the forget the name of this ketorolac, and it worked fine. And yesterday at 3 o'clock I took one of those because I went to the eye doctor yesterday to get my eyes checked and get my new glasses ordered, and I got that accomplished. But I figured I was feeling a little twingy and I better take this. But what I noticed after that short period of time taking these drugs and having taken them after years without them, they hit me like a ton of bricks. The side effects, the drowsiness, I brain fog, even kind of fuzzy feeling. These are all listed side effects of these things. They tell you, be very careful if you drive. I haven't really, I've been performing, I've been here, you've obviously been able to tell I'm a little off, at least I hope you can. But the difference, and then it dawned on me that what I feel now is how I used to feel, but just don't remember it clearly. And that what I feel now is more like the normal that most people feel who are taking even one prescription drug for something. And then I looked at the medical community and said to myself, wow, 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 wow. Because that first drug that you take spawns side effects. For example, if this thing has got me constipated, now it has created a condition that wasn't there before, a condition that requires treatment. So we go back to the doctor. Hey, doc, I'm constipated. Well, here, let me prescribe you this, that, and the other thing. And it becomes like a virus of prescription drugs. It multiplies. And before you know it, because you had one condition that required one drug a little while back, you become unable to have your body chemistry related by the programming that's supposed to regulate it. You find that you now have to micromanage every aspect of how you feel and get big pill counter boxes so you don't miss any of the pills. And it's the side effects, and it's the philosophy of not curing diseases, only treating them for life. That is killing us all. And nothing about what's happening is going to change unless there are drastic changes made. And I never realized that it was that serious a problem to that extent until I managed to fix it for myself, which was a stroke of luck in some cases, and then went back for a minute, and revisited life as it used to be for me and so many of you. And I think that's a really salient point. And I think that was such a great point and such good food for thought that warrants a cigar. But no music. No music. I haven't figured out an easy way to get that music in there, and fooling with that cell phone is. So you all know the song. Imagine it. Imagine it in your head, like you do when I beat my eggs. So many people tell me, yeah, when I see you beating eggs, when I beat my own eggs, I'm singing your song. So imagine the song. And excuse me while I light up a cigar. I should have brought Ellen in, let her entertain you.
That's okay. I'm dancing to the music.
Are
Like
you dancing to me? Okay,
they get the
okay. Well,
feel. They get
you
the
know,
feel.
I've been playing that music as one of the intro musics on my live streams lately. Everybody seems to enjoy it. It's just happy music. I just love it. It's just happy music. Okay, I have a few other things I want to talk about, but let me start saying some hi to people, and let me especially acknowledge Mark Booz, who actually was in this chat at 10:01 last night. Mark, get some sleep, buddy. Good to see you. And damn, if at 11:37, what the trooper that she is, Ellen didn't follow suit and comment on that. And 12:28 a.m. Papa Carnivore pops in. Fabulous. What a community we have. And Boyd Lamb popped in answering the question of how to gift the private community memberships. We were talking about that on the stream last night. Thank you, Boyd. Thank you for that. And then Ellen was back and Boyd was back, and now we're up to 6 in the morning, and Boyd is still here. And then Mike Seeley Sr. chimes in. Good morning at 6:30 in the morning. And let's see here. Scooby, Father of United Carnivore, saying hi to everybody. Boyd Lamb is still here, talking away, and all that chat is there. And then Mike Seeley Jr. is evidently staying with his father or in a hotel here in Melbourne. He's going to be here for our meetup today, as I mentioned already. I'm looking forward to. Can't wait to see you guys. And then Lori's Carnivore Story. Carney Lori checked in about an hour before. Good to see you. And I just want to say hi to a few more people. Ellen was a trooper, prolific, just taking care of everybody. Mother henning the chat. Thank you. Thank you, Ellen. Wanda Gerling comes in, says, good morning, Mitch, Ellen, and everyone. Hope that, yes, I can talk normally. Uh, I know I'm not myself. I'm trying very hard, my friends. But I do feel a little duller than normal, and I'm sure it'll get better quick when I can stop taking these drugs. And I hope that thing has traveled far long enough the highway that the pain won't be bad enough to warrant me putting poison in my body anymore just to be able to stand the pain. Steve Studley's here. Hey, from California. You're early, man. How you doing? And I don't know if you can hear it, but the airliner is going overhead on its way to Melbourne Airport. Charger Moper, Rick is here. How you doing, Rick? Rick came in about 8:15, so we're getting closer. We're getting closer. And then unretired carnivores here. Good to see you, Dixie Scott. Steve Rogers, we're going to miss you today, but from Kansas City, Mo. Good to see you. Satya is here. Hiya. How you doing, Satya? Good to see you. Sandy Blythe. And CB, Sheriff CB Carmack from Alabama got here just before the stream started. Good morning to you. Mama Bears here says good morning. Tom from Tampa, Viking 442. Good to see you, Tom. And Ann from across the pond, Moorhen. Good to see you. BMAT is here. How you doing this morning? And Terry Wilson. Terry Wilson says good morning, Ellen, Mitch, and everyone. And Booby Goats is here this morning from Tennessee. Good to see you. And Mark C. How you doing, Mark? Good to see you, buddy. Glad you made it. We have David Dees says good morning, friends. A lot of people are piling in. We got 120 people in here now. It's fabulous. Jen S is here. How you doing, Jen? Good to see you. Good to see you. And we'll do this for another minute or two and see if I can find Zeno. Zeno chimed in. Good morning to you too. Chessie's Adventure. We met her last night. We met her last night, and as usual, the first time I meet somebody, I never make that association of a first name. It'll just like with Moorhen, when she finally told me her name was Ann, I'll never forget it. And I don't know if your first name is Chessie. I think it might be, but I don't remember well enough to actually call you that. So excuse that, and next time. But she came into our chat. Lovely person. Great to meet her. Great to meet her. And from up in Pennsylvania, and hung in there with us on the panel for the whole stream, and it's great to have you. It's great to have you there. Rick tells me the sound is good. I'm so happy to hear that. I want this thing to settle down so I don't have to worry about technical issues anymore. Deez says sounds great. Zeno says sounds great. Deez says hi to Scooby. Dixie Scott smiling away. Who else we got? Tammy's here. Hey, Tammy, how you doing? Good morning, Mitch, Ellen, and y'all. Y'all, happy Friday. Same to you, Tammy. Felix is here. Hi, Felix. Jerry Vodstush, on the way. I'll be the old bald guy with the gray beard. Well, you'll fit right in. You're going to fit right in. Drive carefully, Jerry. Karen White from Canada. Good morning. How you doing? Richard Williams. Good to see you here this morning, my friend. Glad you could make it. And some more repeats. Standing foot. It's like a pea shoot. Yes. Yeah, I know what you earlier. He made that comment when I was talking about not seeing the Rock of Gibraltar come out. So, Mark came back. Good. And Peter's still here. And who else we got that I haven't said hi to? I just have to scroll down the chat. And we got Meetitudes. Good morning to you. Good morning. I know you told me your first name, but you're going to have to tell me again, please. Praying for a kerplunk. Yeah, in the very near future. Yeah, you and me both. But it might take a week or two to pass. I might not pass it at all. But if it doesn't cause me all that pain, then it won't disrupt my life because I won't have to take the drugs. So I'm hoping. And I'm not sure because, all of a sudden it may get stuck somewhere and I may get an attack of it. But for right now, I'm going to want to assume that things are progressing well. Unfortunately, I don't have a CT scanner to see if it's actually progressing. Maury James is here. How you doing? Good to see you. So glad that you are on the mend, Mitch. I would like to think so. Gonna have to mend eventually, I guess. Blue Rose Lion, how you doing? How you doing? Blue Rose Lion says, I have been ketovore for about 110 days, had to take some Tylenol the other day, and my brain went stupid. It is, isn't it? Isn't it unbelievable? And you can't experience what it's like to not be screwed up until you can not be screwed up for a length of time. And it's only then that you will notice the drastic effects that any of these things, even over-the-counter cures, can have on just your feeling of well-being. It's incredible. And I never realized that until this little kidney stone adventure. I got so used to just feeling good. No pain, nothing hurt, plenty of energy, clear brain. Excuse me a second. Got to keep up that George Burns look. And BMAT. Rose Borgman, good morning to you. How you doing? Terry Wilson gives me permission. Thank you, Terry. I appreciate that. Meetitude says cough, cough. I said, this is not smoke-o-vision. Not smoke-o-vision. And I think, Feral Grandma's here. Good morning to you. Robbie Altry. Hi, Robbie. You are looking better, Mitch. Onward and upward. Thank you. Thank you. I did get some sleep last night. I did get some sleep. Curtis is at low. Good morning to you from Sweet Home, Alabama, down 116 from my 2018 highest weight. Kudos to you, man. Congratulations. Anybody who loses over 100 pounds. I'm reading Papa Carnivore's and I'm finding it a hard time concentrating on yours when Papa Carnivore thinks he's looking sexy. I don't know about that. Sorry about that. Teddy's here. Good morning. Good morning from Baltimore. Hey, good to see you. And I think, here's DS111. What are you doing, DS111? DS111, he's like me. YouTube, I have no life. Yeah, yeah. David Smith from New Hampshire is here. Here's another new one. Bella Vista Farm, good morning from the farm. It's got to be a great place to be. Got to be a great place. Okay. Jesse's Adventures is Marsha. Marsha, Marsha, Marsha. Marsha, 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 Jesse's Adventures. Okay, I have no promises, but I don't think I'll forget that. But if I do, I'll ask you again. 2, 3 times it takes sometimes. Always been that way all my life. Marsha. Thank you, Marsha. Can I associate Marsha with adventures? Nothing comes to mind. Anyway, we have, is that Bassi or Bassay? NTIA. Don't know how to pronounce that. Won't even guess. Says hello, everyone. Good to see you. Jeff Roner is here. Boy, keep coming on new people. Good morning, he says. And Paul Clark is here. Wow, look at all these people. Susan Courtney slept in from Ontario. Good morning. Good morning. I don't adventure. Never mind. Say, I don't blame you for sleeping in, is what I'm trying to say. John is here from Ohio. Blue Rose Lion is here. Wow, 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 wow. I can't complain about the attendance, but that's a lot of you to say good morning to. Okay, I think I got most of you. I want to get back to talking about just some of the things. And Ellen, you can nod. You don't have to unmute, but are you keeping track of any questions or anything that anybody might be asking? 2 questions. You have 2 questions? All right, let's get to them now. So come on in and tell me what they are.
Okay. We have 2 questions I've seen. Lori asked, Lori Carney Story asked,
Okay.
do stones break up on the way out?
Generally not. Generally not. If they did, it would be a blessing. They do have one of the most common, I think, a very common procedure to help the stones, especially if they're still in the kidney. They have a ultrasonic procedure called lithotripsy, where they shoot these high frequency sound waves in. Supposedly it's painless, but I've heard it does leave a bruise where they do it. Where they put it up against your body, it's powerful enough to actually create a bruise. But it's not painful, and it pulverizes these stones into what's almost like sand, and then you end up passing this. And in severe cases, and I know this because one of my neighbors had to have this. There were so many stones in her kidney, and they were so big that they had to, before they did the lithotripsy, they had to actually go in and put stents in each of the ureters so that they would remain open when this beach came flooding down them, and so it wouldn't clog up. And Then they had to put a drain tube in her. It was a miserable thing, but that was a severe, severe case. And I've always been hoping that I wouldn't have to go through that. But
Yeah.
mine happened the opposite way. My stones evidently are dissolving, getting smaller, starting to move on their own. And a 6 millimeter stone is nothing to be alarmed about, but it's enough to cause you amazing grief. So
Yeah.
we'll see. And that's the plan. That's the plan because the doctor initially in the emergency room told me I had about a 50-50 chance of passing this thing.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
And they gave me the Flomax to relax the ureters so that it might aid in it passing. And I think it is moving, like I say, because the pain has been less. But
Good. Good.
but
We'll
I
hope it
may have to.
slides on out.
Yeah, I hope so. But I
Oh, it's
may.
great.
I mean, I'm not ruling out the fact that I may have to go back, have have a procedure, either either the one like I had the last time where they actually had to go in and grab it. That was not fun. They knocked you out for that, but the recovery
That's
from it
good.
wasn't fun because they had to put a stent in, and then I had to go back to the urologist and have the stent removed.
Hmm. Hmm.
Whatever. I'm hoping not to do that. But if they
Yes.
elect to do the lithotripsy, I may actually talk to the urologist about while we're doing that. Why don't we just finish off what I got left in my kidneys if it's not going to be too bad a thing. And let me just get rid of all of them so I don't have to sit and just keep waiting for the next one that gets small enough to decide it needs to take a vacation and away it goes. So there's still a lot of unknowns in this. So anyway, Lori, I hope that answers your question.
Okay. And Steve Studley would like to hear about grounding. Your thoughts on grounding?
My thoughts on grounding are I think it's probably a good thing. I think it's something like sunlight we were naturally meant to do. Uh,
Hmm.
I've done it and I've gone periods without doing it. And to be perfectly honest with you, I can't tell any market improvement in anything that I could attribute to the fact that I walked around in my bare feet. The only thing and I do it, I walk, but I don't sleep on grounding mats. I don't plug myself into an electrical outlet to the ground, plug in an electrical. I don't do any of that stuff. I don't attach myself to a copper wire attached to a ground stake, 6 foot long copper ground stake in the ground, and tether myself there all day so I can remain grounded. Uh, there are those that talk about those extremes, and there are those that say, yeah, just walk around in the grass for 5 or 10 minutes every day. Um, there is merit. I mean, I understand why we need to be grounded. Anything electrical needs to have a ground. It needs to have a reference voltage of zero, and that's what a ground is. And we are electrical. We are electrical organic machines. Everything in our body works. Our nervous system works on electricity. Our heart, the things that create the pulses that they read on these EKG machines is electrical. Our energy production in every cell and every mitochondria is basically a small battery maintaining a voltage differential across a membrane and then allowing electrons or protons to pass through the membrane and while doing so actually power little machines. And those little machines that it powers produce the ATP, the adenosine triphosphate, which is what our body, it's like our cells equivalent of gasoline. It is what our cells use to power the things that they do. So pretty much everything in our body is electrical. And I can't say grounding to the earth isn't beneficial. I just can't tell you from my own experience uh, how much of it you should do and whether it does any good or whether you can live without it. Considering most people on this planet haven't been grounded for 50 years, they never walked barefoot anywhere. They're wearing shoes all the time. So I don't know. I don't know. There's a million videos on it, and I've watched a lot of them, and I've gotten all the different points of views. And like everything else, there's always two sides to a story, and you have to just choose who you believe and what makes most sense to you. That's the best I can do. I hope that answers your question. At least you know how I feel about it now. Okay, what do you think, Ellen? Did that do it?
I think that's great. I think too, it's really a lot about just connecting with nature, the earth, getting back, and we've gotten away from that. So
Oh,
it's that
I think so.
principle.
But there's so many people that do connect with nature. So many people that jog in the park every morning and
Right,
go on
right,
hikes and camping trips who still don't manage to ground themselves because they're still not walking around with their shoes off.
right.
Uh, who
Yeah.
knows? Who
Yeah,
knows?
you guys have the great beaches down there to be able to walk without your shoes.
Yeah, but silica and sand is one of the best insulators on the planet. That's
Oh,
what they make, those things on the power poles where
yeah.
they attach the wires to that are like porcelain, but that's made out
Mhm.
of silicon. So are you really grounding when you're walking on the beach, or are you basically insulated by many feet of sand from the actual earth itself? Inquiring minds want to know. So
Who
there's
knows?
always there's always some angle or some twist to it
Yeah,
where
like I
who,
said.
who
I
knows? I know that if I walk outside in damp grass barefoot,
mhm,
I'm grounded to the earth.
mhm.
And
Yeah,
I do that in the morning, most mornings, uh, before and when I go out to get an early morning sun.
yeah.
So,
That's the
so
best. Feet on the
yeah,
ground with the sun.
yeah.
They're good.
All right, let me get on to my
Okay.
summary here. Thank you, Ellen. Appreciate that. Of my morning news watching this morning, just to keep you
Ah,
up to date on the things that I
yeah,
know
the
that
news.
You're following.
Good. I hope we're going to get an update on the suitcase trial.
Exactly where I'm going right now.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ellen. So, and it says right here, first thing, TV news, suitcase trial. Well, the plot thickens, my friends. The plot thickens. It's day 5, I think, now of the suitcase trial. And for those of you who don't know what it is, nah, none of you, nobody on the planet Earth now cannot know what the suitcase trial is. In case you don't know this woman and her live-in boyfriend of years, who evidently, as she claims, abused her constantly, yet she still stayed with him. They were playing a drunken game of hide and seek. He allowed her to zip her up in a suitcase. She then left him there to die. That's the summary of the thing, and she's on trial for murder. There are two sides to every story, and of course, then the prosecution presented its case, and if you just listen to the prosecution's case, off with his head, or off with her head, rather. Then the defense presented the case, and not only did they present the case, but they had videos that they had taken. He claims that she was always the first one and she would hit him. And for those of you who think that can't happen, it does happen. It does happen. Uh, whether it's what happened, who knows? This is a he said, she said. She has been arrested for other crimes in the past, and at those or domestic disturbance. Oh, he got arrested one time, and they had a police video, a body cam video of him sitting in the back of a police car, crying, saying, "She always hits me first, and I'm being arrested." They have pictures that they took on their own cell phones where he's telling her he loves her. He's on the steps. He's saying, "I love you, honey. Good night." Evidently, they weren't sleeping in the same bedroom. Again, I'm inferring that from what I saw. And she says, "I don't love you. I don't even like you," she says. Now, the first question comes to mind is, what the hell are these people even doing living in the same house, let alone considering themselves boyfriend and girlfriend? But from that, I said to myself, this woman is mentally ill. mentally ill. And nobody, as far as I'm concerned, is more equipped to diagnose mental illness than me. I lived with my last wife for 20 years, who was a diagnosed and medicated bipolar, manic depressive, paranoid schizophrenic, alcoholic. And I'll throw it on the end with multiple personality disorders, because she had a couple of different names that she would use, and she had all these different email accounts. And she would pretty much take on different personas, although she wasn't diagnosed with that. So I recognize every symptom, every symptom. The first symptom is they always blame everything on you. They always blame. It's always your fault. They're the victim. You're the bad guy. I won't get into the grief that caused me over the last 40 years of my life, but I know it when I see it. I know it when I said, this woman is nuts. Then I said, and he's nuts for staying with her, but she owned the townhome. So he was selling himself out for a place to live. How does a jury come to a verdict in this when the defense puts on a case where the defense psychiatrist says that there's nothing wrong with her mentally? The other psychiatrist to the other side for the plaintiff says the woman is flaming, is nuts and has PTSD. And why does she have PTSD? How the hell does a jury actually make a decision that is even close to what really happened? Nobody can. Nobody can. And that's where I'm left after watching what I've seen of the trial. I didn't sit through the whole trial. Is that we've got two lunatics here. And this happened. Well, this kind of stuff happens when you put two lunatics together for a number of years. I don't know what's going to happen. I have an inkling suspicion that maybe she was able to act well enough to appear really sympathetic in front of this jury. And I don't know what the makeup of the jury was, or how sophisticated they were, or how emotion driven they were. I have a funny feeling that they're going to let her off and turn her loose. And I don't think she's going to be a danger to society, but I would caution any man that might meet her to learn real quick to just run like hell. And that's we'll see, because it's supposed to be turned over to the jury today. So that was the first story on the morning news. The second story was, and I don't know the guy's name, I don't follow sports, but a well-known coach of some famous sports team, whether it's college or professional, I don't know, died yesterday unexpectedly at 43 years old as the result of complications of a procedure he was having in the hospital. And that's all they said. 43 years old. So chalk another one up for the medical profession. And the statistics say that more people are killed by doctors in hospitals every year than so many of the other causes of death out there. Accidents. They chalk it up to accidents. And you know that there's always a risk, and you sign your life away when you enter into any kind of surgery. You go to have a pimple removed, you're signing your life away. If you should die from that, that you can't sue them. So 43 years old. I don't know what the procedure was. It was just a typical 20-second news story. He died 43 years old. That's sad. That's sad. The next story was equally as bizarre. It seems that a teenage boy had been having an online relationship with a chatbot. an AI chatbot. Have you heard this one yet? He's having an online relationship with a chatbot and committed suicide. Killed himself. Killed himself.
Oh, that's terrible. Hmm.
The chatbot said the final message before he shot himself in the head. Seconds later, the chatbot said to him, we need to be together. Now, these bots can fool the hell out of you. They know exactly how to push every button. They're programmed. They know how to make you fall in love with them, even though, and there's always a picture, somebody else's picture, to go along with it. So you think you know who you're talking to. You find these things on dating sites as part of scams to get you to send money because, they get you to really like them. Sometimes it takes months, but what do they care? It's all, you're just talking to a computer. It's not, it's not taking up their time. They get you to fall in love with them. And then they always manage the way these scams work to be in a foreign country. And if it's a man doing it, they're always working on an oil rig somewhere. And then all of a sudden a big accident or emergency happens and they need to get off the oil rig and they have no money and they need to pay this and pay that. And then the woman starts sending the man tens of thousands of dollars, usually with Bitcoin or gift cards from Walmart. And they milk that as long as they can. And they're not even real people. Or if they are real people, they're just people that are manning the other end of the chat. But this kid, the last message is we need to be together or something like that. And his final message right before he shot himself was, we'll be together soon. That was it. And he killed himself. So his mother is now suing the company that created this artificial intelligence chatbot, and the company put out a statement that says, we take safety very seriously. We are now working on more ways to improve the safety of our AI software. And now we'll wait 3 to 5 to 10 years to see who runs out of money first in this lawsuit that'll never get resolved. It'll probably get settled. They'll probably settle a nuisance fee like most of them do. It'll be a lot of money to the mother of this kid. It'll be nothing to this big company if they're a big company, and life goes on. I hope that's not a harbinger of things to come in our society as the proliferation of these intelligent sounding and acting machines start manipulating us in every aspect of our life. It's a scary thing. We've been warned about this. We haven't done anything about it yet that can really, I think, scratch the surface in the potential damage that's going to happen. But it is going to happen. And the thing that scares me most is when they start connecting all this AI to robots and machines, we're really in trouble. We're really in trouble. Okay, let me get back to the chat. We got about
Yes.
10 minutes left, Ellen. What do
Wow,
we got there?
yeah, that's a deep topic we could go on and on about. So we
Yeah,
won't.
it's not something I really need to talk
Yeah,
about, but
there's a couple more questions.
yeah, go right ahead. Go
Hold
right
up,
ahead.
till we get to those. Mark Gilman asked, how is your diet today compared to when you started? So did you initially include more things, spices, condiments that you don't do now, or were you just, hardcore straight up?
That's a great question because starting carnivore is, I guess, the most important thing to you when you're starting carnivore because you know nothing. And that's a great question because, how is your diet today different than when you started? Because when you started, you're pretty well uninformed. Well, unfortunately, or fortunately for me, I came to carnivore from years of keto. Not real successful keto, falling off the wagon keto, but keto nonetheless. Uh, when I made the decision, I was already eating relatively clean. I was eating less than 20 grams of carbs a day. I was eating plenty of fat. I was already doing that. I was making sure I was feeling, I was losing weight. I was doing okay. But the 20 grams of carbs always had me looking for some way to make some sweet treat thing and reward myself without the so-called carbs, and it always triggered the addiction, and off I went on a binge, and off the diet I went. So I came at it from that beginning. When I made the decision to go carnivore, it was to stop doing all that stuff. I said, I need to stop eating these artificial sweet treats. I need to stop making the keto banana bread. I need to stop with the keto pizza crust. I need to stop with all of this stuff that has carbs and triggers my addiction. I need to stop with any kind of sauce or anything that contains any sugar, even if it's not much sugar. I need to go pretty strict carnivore. And I said, I'll give it a try for a few months. And in giving it a try, I said, well, while I'm going pure carnivore, I have to eliminate all plants. And that carried with it the elimination of all seasonings that come from plants. The garlic, the onions, all those things that I was using on keto. And that left only salt. So in in retrospect, there is, other than some of the different ways that I have found and I put out in my recipe videos, the salmon cakes, the air fryer stuff, the pork rind coated stuff, the fried stuff in bacon grease, which is still zero carb, qualifies to be legitimate carnivore. Other than the coffee I drink, I don't take any plant. Ellen, if you're typing, you gotta mute your mic.
Oh, sorry. I'm
That's
sorry.
okay. That's okay. No problem. Don't,
Thank you for reminding me.
you got a very sensitive microphone there. But that's okay. It may not even bother people. I don't know. I'm just playing producer now. At any rate, I gave it all up as I started. So the carnivore that I do today is almost virtually identical to the way I started it. Bacon and eggs. I have half a pound of bacon, 5 or 6 eggs, and a pound of meat every day in 2 meals, 4 hours apart. That's it. I, over the years, I found it more satisfying to just limit it like that. And at this point now, after 2 years, I would be perfectly content if somebody said to me, listen, Mitch, this is all you're allowed to eat for the rest of your life, bacon, eggs, and a pound of meat a day. I would say, perfect, perfect, perfect. I would, if you didn't tell me I had to do it, I would do it anyway. And that change happened to me as my body evidently got more happy and nourished with just those foods. And then I figured out along the way what few supplements I might need to take. And they are the supplements, the most common ones, that because of what's in the meat that we get and the way we live our lives today in our society, it was electrolytes, little vitamin D and K2, and a couple drops of iodine in my coffee. And other than that, I have been doing great. And other than once in a while, not very often, when I air fry chicken, like chicken thighs or chicken wings, I'll sprinkle a little seasoning on them that contains a tiny amount of garlic and pepper because it just tastes good, something a little different. But not enough, I think, to say, well, Mitch, you're just not a carnivore anymore. But I don't do that more than maybe once every 2, 3 weeks. And I probably, if I just put salt on the chicken, it'd probably be just as good. In fact, I'm going to do that next time. Next time, I'm just going to put salt on the chicken, and I guarantee you, I'll enjoy it just as much without. And I'm running that stuff that I buy called the blend. All it does is clump up in the shaker thing, and every time you use it, you got to chop it up and dig it. It's a pain in the ass. I'll be happy when I don't want it anymore. And I don't even think I want it. I think it's just a habit. Hope that answers that question. What else you got, Ellen?
Okay, and here's a timely question. Mama Bear wants to know if you have any thoughts about Dr. Boz's element video.
We talked about that last night,
Yes,
didn't we?
that's what I
On the private
said.
community. I have a lot of thoughts about that. Uh, First of all, you have to qualify every bit of whatever you hear, even from me, is I wonder what the other side of the story is. Is that story even true? Is that story sour grapes? It came from Tro, Dr. Tro. Did Element screw Dr. Tro out of a big commission check? Yeah, I'm not saying that happened, and the likelihood of that having happened is very small. But in this day and age where we're getting information from everywhere, the most important thing you have to decide, first of all, is that even believable? Okay. I assume that Bosworth did her due diligence before she made that video, basically putting her name on it. Whoa, got a little ka-ching here. Holy cow. Thank you. Let's see who bought me a coffee this morning. Peter, Papa Carnivore. Thank you, Peter, so much. Peter keeps me in coffee. Always nice of you. Thank you. Thank you, my friend. And I'll see you in a few short hours. That'd be great. Can't wait. Can't wait. Yeah, so she kind of endorsed it. Uh, Evidently, the evidence that I heard, I watched her video, but not Tro's video. And the evidence that I heard was that Element, and I don't trust any of these influencer peddled supplements. I found there's only 200 milligrams of potassium in a dose. It's mostly salt. And as it turns out, there's maltodextrin in it. Maltodextrin is sugar. When I was using artificial sweeteners, I was using a stevia, but it came in a package. And I bought a huge box of these packages from Sam's Club, and it was expensive. And then after a couple times, I actually read the label, what was in it, and it had maltodextrose in it, it had sugar in it. I'm saying, well, why the hell am I using artificial sweeteners when it has real sugar? And I threw the whole box away. I should have taken it back. I just threw it away. It's a fraud. And I bought the liquid stevia drops instead. I figured that's as close as I'm going to get. But that stuff wasn't sweet enough, not without the maltodextrin. So what happens is a lot of these companies that claim that their product is sweetened with stevia or something else that we have accepted as a no sugar, non-caloric sweetener, they sneak a little maltodextrin in. And on the label of Element stuff, there was no listing in the ingredients of maltodextrin. So they contacted the owner of the company, and he claimed, oh yeah, that's included in what we call natural flavors. And it turns out if you look, and I've known that, if you look up these natural flavors, you can put any kind of crap and poison in there that you want, just as long as you call it natural flavors. And sugar comes from a plant, so it's natural. It's not a synthetic chemical made in a lab. It's a natural plant. Well, so is cyanide, all natural. And so is hemlock, all natural. And oleander is all natural. And half the poisons in nature are all natural. And curare, the stuff that'll paralyze your entire body that they use in surgery, is all natural. So this natural flavors catch-all allows these supplement companies to put whatever crap they want in there. And it turns out that this guy admitted they were putting 4 milligrams in. Well, somebody evidently found out how much of this stuff they were really putting in, because element flavored electrolytes taste great. They taste great. They're sweet as hell. People love them. People get addicted to them, not because of the electrolytes in them, but because how good they taste. They don't sell a whole lot of unflavored electrolytes. They found out that there weren't 4 grams or 4 milligrams in it. There were 400 milligrams of maltodextrose in it, 100 times what they were told. There was more maltodextrose in element supplements than potassium. What you're buying when you were paying that exorbitant amount of money for those element supplements, and again, I only go on what I've heard. I have not taken this stuff to laboratories. So you're going to have to just realize I'm only telling you what I heard from Annette Bosworth yesterday, but I have no reason to not believe it because the stuff tastes sweet. I've never used it because it doesn't have enough electrolytes in it. That's why I mixed my own. 400 milligrams. It's basically Gatorade. That's what it is. There's a network of salespeople, influencers that make a fortune selling this stuff. The commissions are ridiculously high because they charge so much money. Another company called Athletic Greens, AG1, which was again just exposed for doing the same thing. Their product is not what they claim it is. The people who sell it, and everybody sells it, every fitness trainer, everybody has a YouTube channel, including Andrew Huberman, were hawking this AG1, getting paid 70% commissions or something, ridiculous amounts of money. No wonder people sign up for that stuff. And there are other frauds just like that out there. We got to be so careful. Now, we'll find out how true it is. I don't know how much we've heard from the company yet, but we'll find out. We'll find out. At any rate, hope that answers that question. And watch bosses, and I'll have to go and see. Oh, I got another coffee here. Another coffee. Who is that? Let's see. Buy me a coffee, Father. Oh, Mike Seeley Sr. Bought me 3 coffees. Thank you. See you at the meetup. Thank you so much, Michael. Really appreciate that, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. In 2 hours from now, we will all be standing out in front of the restaurant. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, I don't think I have any. Well, I had other things on my list, but we can't talk about them this morning. I might carry them over tomorrow.
Ooh, yeah. Wow.
I hope everybody enjoyed this. We still have 134 people here, so I haven't scared you all away yet. I'm beginning to feel my oats. If you're unable to tell, I'm coming into my own again, feeling better, feeling a little sharper. Maybe, and this is decaf, so I can't credit it. Must be the cigar smoke, people. That's it. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Cigar smoke. Okay, so I've got things to do. You've got things to do. I'll bring Ellen in to say a quick goodbye. Where are you, Ellen? There you are. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
As usual, thanks so much.
Thank
For
you.
helping me out this morning, and say goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. That really means a lot. Have a great day. Have a great day, Mitch. You did great.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. There we go. So what am I supposed to say now? Oh, yeah, I remember. Thanks for coming, everybody. Thanks for coming so much. And we'll see you tomorrow, Saturday morning. I'll tell you all about our meetup. Maybe even have some pictures and photographs to show. Don't think I'm going to do a live stream from there. I think I'm going to just take some time and actually just enjoy it and not work so hard. So with that all being said, take the rest of the day off and eat meat.